a seasoned educationist, a collaboration with the government of Mauritius and the prestigious Qatar Stories Dwala Women's Award 2021. Ms. Asna Nafees is a profound advocate of inclusion and believes that respecting and promoting diversity is one of the major roles of leadership in today's world. Her efforts in the field of inclusive education have been commended by both the CBSE and HRD Ministry of India. Now I request her to address
parents, teachers, and I can see a lot of grandparents and the very young, talented Jain Heritage School students. A very good evening. There are a large number of parents here. A very good evening. In the 1960s, when India was a young democratic country which has just won independence after many years of oppression, the then Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, had a vision for the country. He wanted some of the best institutions to be opened in India. Thus happened the birth of the IITs, which are ranked one of the top institutions, just not nationally but globally. While establishing these institutions, he contacted the dean, the former dean of MIT of USA, and asked him how magic is worked and how quality is being delivered at MIT year after year, and that he would love that a group of his academicians, his administrators, come to India and help India establish the IITs. The answer that the dean gave was, it is not very difficult to create excellence. It is just the right type of people who believe in excellence who come together and produce excellence. I take this opportunity and start with this message because I believe that the opening of a third school for Jain heritage is because a lot of excellent people who are seated here have come together with the same vision, and the vision is a shared vision which is in a school between the management, the faculty, the parents and the students. Without this shared vision, we would probably not be where you are, seated here, enjoying what your children have in store of incredible India. While I was sitting and listening to the CEO speak, I realized that he is a young, enthusiastic person and he has a clear vision of what he wants to achieve. He is talking about sustainability in education. To be able to start so many branches, you also have to have a proper strategy, and he has used this opportunity well to convey to you how best he, as the head of the institution, is able to put across this idea. Dr. Mona Mehdi, and I would say that if I'm living in the Gulf and serving the expat community there for 12 long years as the principal of one of the leading schools there with about approximately 6,000 students and 300 teaching staff, I met Dr. Mona Mehdi during one of the award ceremonies recently in Mauritius. And amongst the 50-odd principals and school leaders were there, we struck a chord. Probably it's because we think in the same lines, that there is no replacement for hard work. It's hard work with pure dedication and passion that pays results. And I'm sure she is rubbing it off to all her teachers and students. So I'm so happy to be part of this. And it's no wonder that when you decide or you want something to happen, she had mentioned this to me that would you be able to come across when you come to Hyderabad, please visit our school. And what better opportunity than the annual day. As you are aware, a small dot of a nation called Qatar, where I work, is hosting arguably the largest sporting event FIFA. A dot of a nation with hardly 20 to 22 lakh population is able to host an event which is so huge, and I'm sure all of you are following it either on YouTube, on Reels, and you know how they have been able to do it and do it so well. When you dream and you work with dedication, that country has taught us that you can pull off any event holding on to your roots, to your value systems. Why I am mentioning this here is because the school has chosen Incredible India. What is India without its value systems? We may have moved forward, we may have taken technology with a stride, but to young parents like you, remember that if there is no moderation in technology, we will be left with hollow citizens. The problems of today's children, everybody knows them. Fortunately, unfortunately, today's children believe that information is equal to knowledge, connections are equal to relations or relationships, and that material is happiness. I urge all my parents here, all the parents of the Jain International School and internationally wherever who's going to watch this program, to understand the difference between these three things and help your child mold into a better citizen who understands the value of being an Indian, for left rudderless. So to all my students, use technology, use it sensibly, use it for problem solving. There are n number of things that our country requires to be resolved, and if technology can be used for that, there is, I'm sure, going to be hands down that we would respect every child who is able to use it well. If we are to be safe online, please educate. I think all teachers do it, all parents should also do it. Educate your child on being safe online, because those fine lines are where the blur happens and the child lands into difficult situations. So if we are to train our children, it has to be an act where the home front meets the school front, and together you are able to bring up a better human being, a better Indian citizen who could proudly wear his being Indian globally and create an impact globally. I know that this event is much awaited for the parents, for the children. I'm sure you have worked very hard to be where you are. I end with continue to dream and achieve those dreams. APJ Abdul Kalam always said, a dream is something that doesn't allow you to sleep. So let's continue to dream big, achieve big, and make ourselves, our parents, our school, our teachers, and the entire world very proud of us. Without this hard work that has to be placed right away now and dedication, our lifestyles need a major change. If we don't bring those changes, we are not going to be physically, mentally, and spiritually fit. I always put across a point on spirituality. Whatever religion you may be following, please inculcate spiritual values in your children. Without spirituality, we may land up being like androids with no feelings. So to all young children, get inclined towards doing something that gives you a lot of happiness, and happiness comes only from giving. It doesn't come from all the time from having material good. So I'm sure that the students of the school, as Dr. Mona has read out, have achieved a lot. There's a lot more potential to achieve, and with the efforts of this entire team that is seated here, they will do very well. Before I came here, I did read up a lot on Mr. Raghunath, and I realized that he probably thought on the lines of design thinking, which most schools somehow forget. And the future is for those people who are able to think out of the box, who are able to think differently. So to all my parents here, we all talk about, oh, teaching, it's such a noble profession. How many of us would want our children to become teachers? It's a thought that I'm leaving you with. Teachers make the world. Encourage your children to look at teaching as a profession. Thank you and good evening.
Speech. We would now request respected CEO Sir and Principal Madam to present a memento to Ms. Asna Nafees as a mark of appreciation for graciously accepting a milestone award